success isn't a destination, it's a habit. Think about that for a moment. Not a finish line you cross, not a prize you grab once and hold forever. It's the rhythm of your days, the choices you make moment by moment. Now, let me ask you something. What are your habits building right now? Because whether you're aware of it or not, your life this very second is the result of the habits you've nurtured over time. Let's break this down. Imagine you're planting a garden. Every action you take, every decision you make is a seed. And here's the thing, those seeds don't care if you're planting roses or weeds, they'll grow. Your habits are like the soil, water, and sunlight that nourish them. If your daily habits are rooted in negativity, procrastination, or fear, guess what? That's the harvest you'll reap. But if your habits are grounded in intentionality, gratitude, and purpose, you'll grow a garden so beautiful it inspires everyone who walks by. Here's a powerful truth: the life you desire tomorrow isn't created in some distant someday, it's crafted in the seemingly ordinary moments of today. That extra 5 minutes you spend learning something new. The small choice to get up and move your body instead of scrolling endlessly. That one phone call you make to nurture a relationship. These aren't random acts, they're the building blocks of the life you dream about. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but how can something so small matter so much? Let me tell you, success is never about one grand sweeping gesture. It's about the compound effect. Small actions repeated over time create massive results. Think of a dripping faucet. One drop of water might seem insignificant, but left unchecked, it can fill an entire sink, an entire room. Your habits are the same. They accumulate, they build, and eventually they define you. So the real question is, what are you dripping into your life every day? Here's where it gets exciting. Every small, intentional action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to become. Imagine that you are literally voting for your future self. When you wake up early to meditate, that's a vote. When you choose kindness over anger, when you read instead of binge watching, when you put your health first, every single choice is casting a ballot. And over time, those votes add up. They create momentum. They build a foundation so strong that success and happiness become inevitable. Let me share a story. Picture a man who's struggling to get fit. He goes to the gym for a week, doesn't see any change, and gives up. Why? Because he's measuring his success by the outcome, not the habit. But let's shift that mindset. What if instead he focused on simply becoming the kind of person who doesn't miss a workout? Someone who values their health, who shows up no matter what. The magic happens not when he achieves his ideal weight, but when he identifies as that person. And here's the kicker: once you start living as the person you want to become, the outcomes take care of themselves. Pause and think about this. Who are you becoming through your daily habits? Not just your goals, your identity. Because success isn't something you achieve, it's something you embody. And you embody it through your actions, repeated over time, until they become so natural they're part of who you are. Now let's get real for a second. What stops most people? Fear of failure, lack of motivation, sure. But the biggest obstacle, waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready. Let me tell you something, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The readiness doesn't knock on your door one day and say, okay, let's go. No, you create readiness by starting, by taking one small step, even if it feels awkward or uncertain. Because here's the truth, the path to success is never lit all the way to the end. It's lit just enough for the next step. Think about the habits you have right now, the ones you repeat every single day, sometimes without even realizing it. Are they moving you closer to the life you want, or are they holding you back? Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Take inventory of your habits. Write them down. Be brutally honest. Then ask yourself, if I keep doing this every day, where will I be in a year? In 5 years, the answer might shock you. But it will also empower you, because once you know, you can change. And change doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small. Let me say that again, start small. Because small changes are sustainable. They stick. Want to read more? Start with 1 page a day. Want to get healthier? start with a 10-minute walk. Want to be more mindful? Take 30 seconds to breathe deeply before a meeting. These tiny shifts don't just change your actions, they change your identity. They send a message to your brain, this is who I am now. Here's another hook to keep you thinking the way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you cut corners in one area of your life, it spills over into others. But the opposite is also true. Excellence in one area breeds excellence everywhere. When you commit to one good habit, it ripples out. It makes you stronger, more disciplined, more confident. Success becomes a habit because excellence becomes your standard. But let's not stop there. Success and happiness aren't just about personal achievement. They're deeply connected to how you contribute to the world. Think about this. Every small habit you cultivate isn't just for you. It's for your family, your friends, your community. When you show up as your best self, you inspire others to do the same. Your habits don't just create your future, they create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. So here's my challenge to you. What's one small habit you can start today? Just one. Don't overthink it. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for every morning. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Maybe it's spending 5 minutes visualizing your goals. Whatever it is, commit to it. Do it consistently, because every small, intentional action builds the foundation for the life you desire tomorrow. Success isn't a destination, it's a habit. And the best part, you can start right now. Happiness isn't out there, it's not in some distant place waiting for you to find it. It's not hidden in the next big promotion, the perfect partner, or the dream vacation. Happiness is here right now within the choices you make every single day. Think about that for a second. Let it sink in. Every day you hold the keys to the joy you seek. And those keys, they're your habits, those small, often overlooked decisions that shape your life moment by moment. Here's the thing we've been sold a myth. A story that says happiness is something you earn, something you chase, something you discover outside of yourself. But let me ask you, how many times have you reached a milestone or achieved a goal and thought, is this it? Is this all there is? That's because happiness isn't something you collect, it's something you cultivate. And cultivation happens daily in the little things, the quiet moments, the conscious choices. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a woman rushing through her morning, barely tasting her coffee, mindlessly scrolling her phone, and snapping at her family because she's already late. She's stressed, she's overwhelmed, but she's convinced that if she could just get through the day, then she'd feel better. Sound familiar? Now picture this same woman making a different choice. She wakes up 5 minutes earlier, pauses to breathe deeply, expresses gratitude for one thing in her life, and chooses kindness in her interactions. The day ahead hasn't changed. The world around her is the same, but she has changed. Her choices have transformed her experience of the day. And that transformation, it's available to you right now. Here's the secret: happiness is a muscle. It grows with use. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, presence over distraction, or compassion over criticism, you're strengthening that muscle. You're rewiring your brain, training it to look for the good, to seek joy, to find peace even in chaos. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Think about this: your habits are like drops of water filling a jar. One drop might seem insignificant, but over time those drops add up, and before you know it, the jar is overflowing. So the question is, what are you filling your jar with? Are you adding drops of frustration, worry, and negativity, or are you pouring in moments of connection, laughter, and love? Let's get practical. Start with the simplest habit of all awareness. Pay attention to how you're living your days. Are you moving through life on autopilot, reacting to everything that comes your way? Or are you taking a moment to pause, to choose to respond intentionally? Awareness is the first step, because once you're aware, you can change. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Small habits create big shifts. Let's say you want more happiness in your life. Start with one habit, just one. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for every night before bed. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk outside each day. Maybe it's smiling at a stranger just because. These might seem small, but their impact is profound. Why? Because habits don't just change your behavior, they change your identity. When you practice gratitude, you become a grateful person. When you practice kindness, you become a kind person. And when you cultivate joy, you become a joyful person. Think of it this way: your habits are like planting seeds in a garden. Each choice is a seed you're sowing, and over time, those seeds grow into the landscape of your life. So I ask you, what are you planting? Are you nurturing a garden of happiness, or are you letting weeds of discontent take over? The beauty of it is you get to choose. Every day you have the opportunity to pull out the weeds and plant something new, something beautiful. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, that sounds great, but what about the days when life feels hard? When happiness feels out of reach, let me tell you something, those are the days when your habits matter the most. It's easy to choose joy when everything is going well. The real power comes from choosing it when life is messy, uncertain, or challenging. That's when your habits become your anchor, your guide, your lifeline. Take a moment right now and ask yourself, what's one habit you can commit to today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's choosing to be present during your next conversation, really listening instead of thinking about what you'll say next. Maybe it's turning off your phone for an hour and spending that time doing something that truly nourishes you. Maybe it's simply taking a deep breath and reminding yourself, I am enough right here, right now. Here's another thought: to hold on to happiness isn't something you pursue, it's something you allow. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not out there waiting to be chased or conquered. It's already within you, ready to be uncovered, if only you'll make the choice to see it. And your habits, those small, daily acts of intention, are the tools that help you peel back the layers and reveal the joy that's been there all along. So let me leave you with this. Picture your life as a canvas. Each day, each habit is a brushstroke. And you are the artist. What kind of masterpiece are you creating? Are you painting a life filled with color, light, and beauty? Or are you letting someone else hold the brush? The choice is yours, every single day, right now. Gratitude. A simple word, isn't it? But let me tell you, it's not just a feeling. It's not just saying thank you when someone holds the door open or hands you your coffee. Gratitude is a force, a powerful force. It's the energy that shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, and in doing so, it transforms not just your mind, but your entire reality. Now imagine this: you wake up in the morning, and instead of letting your first thoughts be about deadlines, worries, or that never-ending to-do list, you pause just for a moment. You take a deep breath, feel the rhythm of life moving through you, and you say thank you, not just with your lips, but with your heart. Thank you for the breath that sustains me. Thank you for the roof above my head. Thank you for the day that's waiting to unfold. And in that single act, you've done something extraordinary. You've set the tone for the entire universe to conspire in your favor. Let's talk about why this works. Gratitude isn't passive, it's active. It's a signal you send out like a radio frequency, telling the world, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm here. When you start your day with gratitude, you're aligning yourself with abundance, with possibility, with a higher vibration. And guess what? The universe listens. It always listens. The energy you put out is the energy you get back. So when you start your day in gratitude, the universe starts its day thanking you right back. Here's something to think about. When was the last time you paused to appreciate what you already have? Not in passing, not as a fleeting thought, but with genuine awareness. See, most of us are so busy chasing what's next, the next promotion, the next milestone, the next thrill, that we forget to honor what's already here. But here's the truth: if you can't find joy in the present, no amount of success in the future will ever feel like enough. Now, let me tell you a story. There was a man who felt stuck in his life. His job was draining him. His relationships felt strained, and he was always waiting for things to get better, for the break he believed he deserved. One day, someone challenged him to write down 3 things he was grateful for every morning. At first, he struggled. His mind kept drifting to what was missing, what wasn't working. But he stuck with it. Slowly, his list grew. the sound of birds outside my window, the kindness of a stranger, the warmth of my morning coffee, and something remarkable happened. His perspective began to shift. Opportunities he'd overlooked before started appearing. His relationships deepened. His work began to feel meaningful again. Why? Because he wasn't waiting for life to change, he was changing his relationship with life. Pause for a moment. Think about this. What are you grateful for right now? Not in general, but right now. Maybe it's the device you're using to listen to this, connecting you to ideas that inspire you. Maybe it's the comfort of the chair you're sitting in, supporting you. Maybe it's simply the fact that you're alive with a chance to start fresh today. Whatever it is, hold it in your mind. Feel it. Because gratitude isn't just an act, it's a state of being. Here's a hook for you. Gratitude rewires your brain. Neuroscience backs this up. When you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good chemicals that lift your mood and boost your sense of well-being. It's like a natural antidepressant, except it doesn't come from a pill. It comes from you. Every time you express gratitude, you're strengthening the neural pathways that make it easier to see the good in life. And the more you see the good, the more good you attract. It's a cycle, a beautiful self-sustaining cycle. But let's not stop there. Gratitude doesn't just change your internal state, it changes the way you interact with the world. Think about it. When you're grateful, you're more patient, more forgiving, more generous. You see possibilities instead of problems. You approach challenges with a sense of curiosity instead of dread. And that energy, it's contagious. When you walk into a room with gratitude radiating from you, people feel it. They're drawn to it. And suddenly you're not just improving your life, you're elevating everyone around you. Here's the kicker, though gratitude isn't always easy. Let's be real, there will be days when life feels heavy, when things don't go your way, when it's hard to find something to be thankful for. But those are the days when gratitude matters most. Because gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding the light even in the darkness. It's about saying, this is hard, but I'm grateful for the strength to face it. I'm grateful for the lessons it's teaching me. I'm grateful for the chance to grow. Now imagine this, you wake up in the morning and instead of letting your first thoughts be about deadlines, worries, or that never-ending to-do list, you pause just for a moment. You take a deep breath, feel the rhythm of life moving through you, and you say thank you, not just with your lips, but with your heart. Thank you for the breath that sustains me. Thank you for the roof above my head. Thank you for the day that's waiting to unfold. And in that single act, you've done something extraordinary. You've set the tone for the entire universe to conspire in your favor. Let's talk about why this works. Gratitude isn't passive, it's active. It's a signal you send out, like a radio frequency telling the world, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm here. When you start your day with gratitude, you're aligning yourself with abundance, with possibility, with a higher vibration. And guess what? The universe listens. It always listens. The energy you put out is the energy you get back. So when you start your day in gratitude, the universe starts its day thanking you right back. Here's something to think about. When was the last time you paused to appreciate what you already have? Not in passing, not as a fleeting thought, but with genuine awareness. See, most of us are so busy chasing what's next, the next promotion, the next milestone, the next thrill, that we forget to honor what's already here. But here's the truth, if you can't find joy in the present, no amount of success in the future will ever feel like enough. Now, let me tell you a story. There was a man who felt stuck in his life. His job was draining him, his relationships felt strained, and he was always waiting for things to get better, for the break he believed he deserved. One day, someone challenged him to write down 3 things he was grateful for every morning. At first he struggled. His mind kept drifting to what was missing, what wasn't working, but he stuck with it. Slowly his list grew. The sound of birds outside my window, the kindness of a stranger, the warmth of my morning coffee, and something remarkable happened. His perspective began to shift. Opportunities he'd overlooked before started appearing. His relationships deepened. His work began to feel meaningful again. Why? Because he wasn't waiting for life to change, he was changing his relationship with life. Pause for a moment. Think about this. What are you grateful for right now? Not in general, but right now. Maybe it's the device you're using to listen to this, connecting you to ideas that inspire you. Maybe it's the comfort of the chair you're sitting in supporting you. Maybe it's simply the fact that you're alive with a chance to start fresh today. Whatever it is, hold it in your mind. Feel it. Because gratitude isn't just an act, it's a state of being. Here's a hook for you. Gratitude rewires your brain. Neuroscience backs this up. When you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good chemicals that lift your mood and boost your sense of well-being. It's like a natural antidepressant, except it doesn't come from a pill. It comes from you. Every time you express gratitude, you're strengthening the neural pathways that make it easier to see the good in life. And the more you see the good, the more good you attract. It's a cycle, a beautiful self-sustaining cycle. But let's not stop there. Gratitude doesn't just change your internal state, it changes the way you interact with the world. Think about it. When you're grateful, you're more patient, more forgiving, more generous. You see possibilities instead of problems. You approach challenges with a sense of curiosity instead of dread. And that energy, it's contagious. When you walk into a room with gratitude radiating from you, people feel it. They're drawn to it. And suddenly you're not just improving your life, you're elevating everyone around you. Here's the kicker, though gratitude isn't always easy. Let's be real, there will be days when life feels heavy, when things don't go your way, when it's hard to find something to be thankful for. But those are the days when gratitude matters most. Because gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding the light even in the darkness. It's about saying, this is hard, but I'm grateful for the strength to face it. I'm grateful for the lessons it's teaching me. I'm grateful for the chance to grow. And here's a little secret: the more you practice gratitude, the better you get at it. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Start small. Wake up tomorrow and think of one thing you're grateful for. Just one. Say it out loud, write it down, feel it. Then watch what happens. Watch how your day unfolds differently. Watch how little moments you might have missed before start to sparkle. Let me leave you with this thought: gratitude is a magnet for miracles. The more you focus on what you have, the more you'll have to be grateful for. It's a universal law, as real as gravity. So start your day with gratitude and watch how the universe starts its day thanking you back. Every sunrise is a new chance. Every breath is a gift. And every moment is an opportunity to choose gratitude. So what will you choose today? Replace "I have to" with "I get to just say it out loud right now." Do you feel that? That subtle, almost imperceptible shift in energy? It's like opening a window in a room that's been stuffy for far too long. The air changes, the light comes in, your soul breathes. That's the power of language, my friends. The words we use aren't just sounds, they're vibrations, they're frequencies, and every single word we choose is either lifting us up or pulling us down. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can changing two little words have to into get to make such a big difference? But here's the thing: your words create your reality. Let me say that again: your words create your reality. They shape how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you feel about the life you're living. So let me ask you, what kind of reality are you creating with the language you use every day? Think about how often we say, I have to go to work, I have to clean the house, I have to exercise. It's so automatic, we don't even question it. But listen closely to the energy behind those words. Have to, it sounds heavy, doesn't it? Like a burden. Like something being forced upon you. When you say, I have to, you're telling yourself that your life is a series of obligations, chores, and things you'd rather not do. And here's the kicker: your subconscious mind believes you. It takes those words and turns them into your emotional reality. No wonder you feel drained, stuck, or uninspired. But what happens when you replace "I have to" with "I get to"? Say it with me: I get to go to work, I get to clean the house, I get to exercise. Feel that? It's lighter, freer, more expansive. Why? because get to shifts the focus from obligation to opportunity. Suddenly life isn't something happening to you, it's something happening for you. And that one shift changes everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine you wake up early on a Monday morning. The alarm goes off and your first thought is, "Oh, I have to go to work." How do you feel? Tired, resentful, maybe even a little trapped. Now rewind and change the script. The alarm goes off and instead you say, "I get to go to work." How does that feel? There's gratitude in those words. There's possibility. You're reminded that having a job is a privilege, not a punishment. There are people out there praying for the very opportunities you're taking for granted. That shift in language isn't just about being positive, it's about aligning with truth. Here's a little secret: the words you use don't just describe your life, they define it. Think of your language as a lens. The words you choose are the filters you place over that lens. When you say "I have to," the filter is gray, murky, and dull. But when you say "I get to," the filter brightens. The same life, the same circumstances now looks completely different. Isn't that incredible? The power isn't in the situation, it's in your perception of it. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine used to dread his daily commute. Every morning, stuck in traffic, he'd say, "I have to sit here and waste an hour of my life." He was miserable. One day, I suggested he try saying, "I get to spend an hour in the car." At first, he laughed, but he gave it a shot. And you know what? He started using that hour to listen to audiobooks, reflect, and even practice gratitude. The commute didn't change, but his experience of it transformed. He went from dreading that time to cherishing it. That's the power of "I get to." Here's the deeper truth: gratitude is at the heart of "I get to." When you shift your language, you're not just changing words, you're tuning into a higher frequency. Gratitude opens your heart. It reminds you of the abundance all around you. Even in the simplest things. You don't have to do the dishes, you get to because you had food to eat. You don't have to work out, you get to because your body is strong and capable. You don't have to help your kids with homework, you get to because you're blessed with the gift of being their parent. Do you see? Gratitude reframes everything. But let me warn you, this isn't just a one-time shift, it's a habit, a practice. And like any habit, it takes time and intention. Start small. Catch yourself when you say "I have to," pause, breathe, then consciously replace it with "I get to." At first it might feel forced or awkward. That's okay, stick with it. Over time it becomes natural. And before you know it, your entire perspective on life begins to shift. Now let's go even deeper. This isn't just about feeling better in the moment, it's about rewriting the story you're telling yourself about your life. Every time you say "I get to," you're reclaiming your power. You're reminding yourself that you are not a victim of your circumstances, you are a co-creator of your reality. That's a powerful place to live from. It's where true happiness and success begin. Here's something else to think about: the language you use doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. When you speak from a place of gratitude and possibility, it's contagious. Your energy shifts. Your relationships improve. People feel drawn to you, inspired by you. Imagine the ripple effect of that. By changing two little words, you're not just transforming your own life, you're elevating the lives of everyone you touch. So let me ask you, what are the "I have to" phrases in your life right now? Maybe it's work, maybe it's family responsibilities, maybe it's something as simple as running errands. Whatever it is, take a moment to reframe it. Say, "I get to feel the difference." Let it sink in. This isn't just semantics, it's a shift in consciousness. It's a doorway to a higher way of being. And here's the best part: this practice doesn't cost you anything. You don't need to buy a book, attend a seminar, or rearrange your life. All it takes is awareness. Awareness of the words you're choosing. Awareness of the energy you're bringing into your daily routine. That awareness is your superpower. Because once you have it, you can change anything. Remember this: the language you use is shaping your life moment by moment, word by word. So why not choose words that lift you up? Why not create a reality that feels good to live in? Replace "I have to" with "I get to" and watch what happens. Watch how your days become lighter, your heart becomes fuller, and your soul starts to soar. Because in the end, life isn't something you have to endure, it's something you get to embrace. One beautiful, miraculous moment at a time. What you consume through food, thoughts, or media becomes the energy you project. Pause and let that settle, because this isn't just about what's on your plate or what's playing in the background, it's about what you're feeding you. Your body, your mind, your soul. And here's the kicker, every single thing you consume leaves a trace. So let me ask you, what kind of energy are you building with that? Think about this, your body is a temple, yes, but it's also an engine. What happens when you pour cheap, dirty fuel into a high-performance car? It sputters, it slows. Eventually, it breaks down. Now, replace that car with your body and mind. If you're consuming junk, whether it's processed food, toxic thoughts, or mindless distractions, you're running on fumes. And let's get real, fumes aren't going to take you very far. But here's the incredible part, the opposite is just as true. When you choose the best fuel, nourishing food, empowering thoughts, uplifting media, you're unstoppable. You move with purpose, with clarity, with strength. You feel alive. So I'll ask you again, what are you feeding yourself right now? Let's start with food. It's not just about eating, it's about energy. Everything you put into your body becomes part of you. Imagine you're building a house. Would you use the cheapest materials, the ones that crumble at the slightest touch? Of course not. You choose the strongest, most reliable resources. Your body deserves the same care. Fresh fruits, vibrant vegetables, clean water, they're not just food, they're life, they're the building blocks of vitality. And yet, how often do we trade that vitality for convenience? A quick fix, a fast bite, and then we wonder why we feel sluggish, drained, unmotivated. Now shift your focus inward to your thoughts. Oh, this is where the real power lies. What you allow into your mind shapes how you see the world, how you see yourself. Let's be honest, your thoughts are like seeds. What are you planting? Are you filling your mind with self-doubt, fear, or negativity? Or are you feeding it with inspiration, gratitude, and love? Here's a little secret, the world reflects what you project. If you're thinking, I'm not enough, the world will agree. But if you choose thoughts like, I am capable, I am worthy, I am abundant, the universe has no choice but to mirror that back to you. Here's a story. Imagine a man walking through a beautiful meadow. Everywhere he looks, there are flowers blooming, colors exploding, life thriving. But in his hand, he's holding a magnifying glass and he's only focusing on the weeds. That's what consuming negativity does to you. It narrows your vision. It makes you blind to the beauty, the possibilities. But when you shift your focus, when you feed your mind with hope and curiosity, suddenly that meadow transforms. The flowers aren't just there, they're everywhere. And the weeds, they shrink into the background where they belong. And what about the media you consume, the shows you watch, the music you hear, the people you follow online? They all leave fingerprints on your soul. Let's get real. How many times have you scrolled through social media only to feel worse about yourself by the end? That's not entertainment, that's poison. But when you choose content that uplifts you, that educates you, that reminds you of your potential, you're feeding your spirit, you're fueling your dreams, you're building momentum toward the life you want. Here's a challenge, take an inventory of what you're consuming today. Be brutally honest. What are you eating? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you watching, reading, listening to? Then ask yourself, is this helping me grow or is it holding me back? If it's not serving you, let it go. Replace it with something that does. Choose food that energizes, thoughts that empower, media that inspires, because what you consume, you become. It's that simple. Now, I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes and picture yourself as a glowing orb of energy. Yes, you pure energy. Every meal you eat, every thought you think, every piece of media you take in adds to that energy. It changes its color, its intensity, its vibration. So what kind of energy are you radiating? Are you glowing with vitality, positivity, and love? Or are you dimmed by doubt, fear, and distraction? The answer lies in your choices. Every bite, every thought, every moment is an opportunity to choose again. To fuel yourself with what makes you shine. And here's the most exciting part: when you raise your energy, when you choose the best fuel, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you. Energy is contagious. Walk into a room filled with negativity and you can feel it. can't you? It's heavy, it drags you down. But when you walk into a space that's alive with positivity, it's electric. It lifts you up. That's the energy you have the power to project. And it starts with what you consume. So I'll leave you with this thought: every choice you make is a vote for the kind of energy you want to bring into the world. Your body, your mind, your soul, they deserve the best. Choose wisely, because what you consume becomes the energy you project, and that energy has the power to shape your destiny. Choose wisely and watch the world transform around you. Success begins when you make friends with the present moment. Not when you reach that next milestone, not when the stars align, not someday, but now let me ask you this: how often are you truly here in this moment? Not rushing to the next task, not replaying the past, but right here feeling the air in your lungs, the ground beneath your feet. Because here's the thing: the present moment is where your power lives. It's the only place where life is happening. Think about it. How many of us spend our days waiting for the big things to bring us happiness? The promotion, the vacation, the perfect relationship. But the truth is, life isn't made up of big moments. It's built on the small, ordinary ones. And when you learn to be present in those, when you cultivate mindfulness in the mundane, you unlock something extraordinary. Here's a little secret: the mundane isn't mundane at all. It's only ordinary because we failed to notice its magic. Washing the dishes, feel the warmth of the water on your hands. Walking to your car, notice the rhythm of your steps, the way the sunlight dances on the windshield. Even waiting in line, what an opportunity to pause, to breathe, to simply be. Every moment is a doorway to something greater, but you have to step through it. Let me tell you a story. There was once a monk who was asked, "What do you do to find enlightenment?" He smiled and said, "I chop wood and carry water confused." The questioner asked, "What do you do after enlightenment?" The monk smiled again. "I chop wood and carry water." That's the essence of mindfulness, finding the sacred in the seemingly mundane. Because it's not about what you're doing, it's about how you're doing it. Pause for a second. Imagine your life as a mosaic. Each tiny tile represents a single moment. If you're rushing, distracted, or resisting the present, those tiles are dull, lifeless. But when you're mindful, when you fully embrace each moment, no matter how simple, it's like adding a burst of color, a touch of brilliance. Over time, that mosaic becomes a masterpiece. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The present moment doesn't just hold peace, it holds clarity. When you're truly present, you see things as they are, not as your fears or assumptions paint them. Think of a calm lake. When the water is still, you can see straight to the bottom. But when it's stirred up, everything becomes murky. Your mind works the same way. Presence stills the waters, revealing solutions, opportunities, and insights you might otherwise miss. But here's the challenge: our minds are like restless toddlers. They want to pull us into the past, rehashing old regrets, replaying conversations, or push us into the future, worrying about what's next. The practice of mindfulness is about gently guiding that restless mind back to now. It's about saying, "I see you, but I choose to stay here." Let's make this practical. The next time you find yourself in a moment that feels unremarkable, ask yourself this: what can I notice right now that I've never noticed before? It could be the way the light filters through a window, the sound of birds in the distance, or even the feeling of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. These small observations ground you. They remind you of the miracle of being alive. Here's another hook to think about. Mindfulness isn't just about slowing down, it's about showing up. It's about being fully present for the people in your life. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who wasn't really there? Their body was in front of you, but their mind was somewhere else. It doesn't feel good, does it? Now flip that. Imagine the impact you could have if in every interaction you were 100% present, listening not just with your ears, but with your heart. That kind of presence is a gift. It deepens relationships, builds trust, and leaves a lasting impression. Let's talk about resistance for a moment. How often do we resist the present because it doesn't look the way we want it to? We wish the moment were different, easier, more exciting, but resistance only creates suffering. The present moment is like a river. It's flowing whether you like it or not. You can fight it or you can flow with it. And here's the paradox: when you stop resisting, when you fully embrace what is, that's when transformation happens. Think of a caterpillar in a cocoon. It doesn't fight the darkness or wish for the light. It simply surrenders to the process, trusting that something beautiful is emerging. You too are transforming in every moment. But you have to trust the process. You have to be present for it. And let's not forget the extraordinary power of gratitude and mindfulness. When you're fully present, gratitude comes naturally. You start to see the abundance that's already around you, the food on your plate, the laughter of a friend, the sheer fact that you woke up today. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It turns I get to, in that shift, it changes everything. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Here's a simple practice throughout your day. Pause and ask yourself, what's good about this moment? It might be something small, a comfortable chair, a soft breeze, a song playing in the background. This simple question trains your mind to focus on what's right rather than what's wrong. Over time, it becomes a habit. And when you're habitually present, you unlock a kind of joy that's unshakable. Here's another layer to explore. Mindfulness doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending everything's perfect. It means being fully present with whatever arises: joy, pain, fear, excitement. Think of a storm. Mindfulness doesn't stop the rain, but it teaches you to dance with it. It reminds you that storms pass and the sun always returns. So let me ask you, what would happen if you made friends with the present moment? Not just tolerated it, but fully embraced it. What if you saw every moment, no matter how ordinary, as an invitation to wake up, to be alive, to experience the extraordinary in the everyday? You'd stop waiting for happiness to arrive and start realizing it's been here all along, hiding in plain sight. Take a breath, feel it. Right now, in this very moment, you're alive, you're connected to the infinite. And that's extraordinary. Dream big, but act small, because it's in the little daily victories that greatness is born. Let that sink in for a moment. So often we get caught up in the enormity of our dreams. We see the mountaintop, the dazzling peak of success, and it feels overwhelming. How will I ever get there, we wonder. But here's the secret: you don't climb the mountain in one giant leap. You reach it by taking one small, steady step at a time. And every single step matters. Pause and consider this. When was the last time you celebrated a small victory? Not the big headline-worthy achievements, but the little moments of progress. Maybe it was sticking to your morning routine for a week. Maybe it was choosing kindness in a tough situation. These small wins are the foundation of greatness. They're the quiet proof that you're on your way, even if the world doesn't notice yet. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a sculptor standing before a massive block of marble. The vision in their mind is grand, a masterpiece that will awe and inspire. But when they pick up their tools, they don't try to carve the entire sculpture in one stroke. They chip away, bit by bit, small, deliberate actions, each one bringing them closer to their vision. Here's the truth: your dreams are like that marble. The habits you cultivate each day are the tools. And the beauty of it all, every small action you take shapes the masterpiece of your life. But let's get practical. What does it mean to act small? It means focusing on what you can do today. Not next week, not next year, today, because today is all you really have. Think of your dream as a lighthouse in the distance. It's there to guide you, to inspire you, but the journey isn't about staring at the light. It's about focusing on the step in front of you. What's one thing you can do right now that moves you closer? Maybe it's as simple as writing down your goals. Maybe it's reading one chapter of a book. Maybe it's just showing up even when you don't feel like it. Here's where it gets interesting. Small actions repeated consistently create a ripple effect. Have you ever seen a drop of water hit a still pond? That tiny drop creates waves that expand far beyond the point of impact. Your daily habits are like that. They might seem small, insignificant even, but over time, they create waves of change that can transform your entire life. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but my dream is huge. How can small actions possibly make a difference? Let me share something powerful. The world's greatest achievements, the most inspiring stories of success, were built on small, consistent actions. Think about it. A marathon isn't run in one stride, it's thousands of steps, one after another. A towering skyscraper isn't built overnight, it's brick by brick, layer by layer. Even the strongest tree you've ever seen started as a tiny seed. The same is true for your dreams. They're not about grand gestures, they're about showing up every day and doing the work, no matter how small it seems. Let's get real for a moment. Why do so many people struggle with this? Because small actions don't always feel glamorous. They don't give you that instant hit of excitement or recognition. But here's the truth. The habits that transform your life often feel mundane in the moment. Waking up early, journaling, practicing gratitude, staying disciplined when no one's watching. These aren't the things that get applause or go viral, but they're the things that create lasting change. Think about this. Every small habit is a vote for the person you want to become. When you meditate for 5 minutes, you're voting for peace and clarity. When you take the time to learn something new, you're voting for growth. When you choose discipline over distraction, you're voting for success. Over time, those votes add up. They tip the scale. They build momentum. And suddenly you realize you've become the person you've always wanted to be. But let me ask you something. What are you voting for today? What story are your daily habits telling? Because whether you realize it or not, your habits are shaping your identity. They're telling the world and yourself who you are. So I challenge you to look at your actions and ask, are these aligned with the person I want to be? With the life I want to create? If the answer is no, guess what? You have the power to change them right now. Here's another hook to keep you thinking. It's not just about doing small things, it's about doing them with intention. Imagine you're pouring water into a glass. If you're careless, the water spills everywhere and the glass never fills. But if you're focused and intentional, every drop counts. It's the same with your habits. Don't just go through the motions. Be present, be mindful. When you exercise, feel the strength in your body. When you work on your dream, connect with your why. When you spend time with loved ones, truly be there. Because intention turns small actions into powerful ones. Let me share a personal example. I once knew someone who wanted to write a book. For years, they talked about it. They had big ideas, bold visions, but they never took action. Why? Because the dream felt too big. They didn't know where to start. But then one day they made a decision to write just 1 page a day. That's it. Just 1 page. At first it felt small, almost laughable, but over time those pages added up. 1 month became a chapter. A year became a finished book. That's the power of acting small. It doesn't just move you forward, it builds confidence. It reminds you, I can do this. And here's the beautiful part. Small victories create a cycle of success. When you achieve something, no matter how small, it boosts your confidence. That confidence fuels your motivation, which leads to more action, more success, and more confidence. It's a positive loop that propels you forward. But it all starts with that first, seemingly insignificant step. Let's pause for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine the person you want to become, the life you want to live. See it in vivid detail, feel it. Now ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move closer to that vision? Just one thing. Because here's the truth, greatness isn't something you wait for. It's something you build step by step, habit by habit, moment by moment. And it starts right now.